call roll. New Hampshire, Dr. Josiah Bartlett. Massachusetts, Mr. John Adams. Rhode Island, Mr. Stephen Hopkins. Connecticut, Mr. Roger Sherman. New York, Mr. Lewis Morris. New Jersey, the Reverend Jonathan Witherspoon. Pennsylvania, Dr. Benjamin Franklin. Delaware, Mr. Caesar Rodney. Maryland, Mr. Samuel Chase. Virginia, Mr. Thomas Jefferson. North Carolina, Mr. Joseph Hughes. South Carolina, Mr. Edward Bradley. Georgia,
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for coming. Thank you for joining us for this brief ceremony that your Bennington Rotary Club is presenting on this Independence Day. It is fitting that we take a short time out to recognize what the Founding Fathers did that July 4th in 1776, when they put their signatures on the Declaration of Independence. Thomas Jefferson knew the importance of the document that he wrote, and he encouraged his countrymen to celebrate that day and every July 4th thereafter. The Bennington Rotary Club is proud to be able to bring together some of the church and other bells of Bennington to be rung today in unison with this ship's bell. We are very happy to have you here. At 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we will join other communities across the country to celebrate the birth of our nation. So if you would now please join us in singing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, came through the night that our flag was showing. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Now would you please join me, face the flag, and give the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Today's bell ringing service ceremony is but one part of a Bennington Rotary Club projects. We Rotarians have come to realize that there are many old bells throughout Bennington, were once very useful and a source of pride for the community. Of course, today bells are in jeopardy. We Rotarians have decided to save as many bells as possible. We are currently in negotiations as we plan our next restoration project. And the Bennington Rotary Club isn't just about ringing bells. Even though we do man the bells at Christmas time in front of J.C. Penney, The money we collect for this project goes in the Fuel Assistance Project. In December, when you see a shivering soul in a snowmobile suit standing next to a blue kettle ringing a sleigh bell, it's probably one of those Rotarians. This year, we also took on some community garden projects. Rotarians volunteered to do a lot of planting of flowers at the entrance to the Vermont Veterans Home. We also did some awesome landscaping at the new GBIX free clinic, and that's shown down here on Depot Street. Each year we provide college scholarships to students in high school. To raise money for this project, we put on an Italian night dinner. Another fun project we did last year was our successful Rotary Roundup. This event was a community tag sale, and we are working on doing it again this year. We thank you all who support Rotary in our efforts to make Bennington a great place to live. Now the Bennington Rotary Club would like to introduce Ms. Vicki Wilson, who is our outgoing president and a member of the board of directors. She will read from the document which declared us to be a free nation.
In Congress, July 4, 1776, the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth a separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. We therefore, the representatives of the United States of America and General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name and by the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
Thank you, Vicki. In 1963, both houses of Congress passed the concurrent resolution number 25, which reads, whereas the tolling of the Liberty Bell at Independence Hall at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on the 4th of July, 1776, proclaimed the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Whereas the adoption of this historic document marked the birth of our country as a free and independent nation, and whereas it is fitting that the anniversary of this great event should be appropriately observed in each year at the same moment throughout the United States. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Congress hereby declares that the anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence should be observed each year by the ringing of bells throughout the United States at the hour of 2 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time in the afternoon of July 4th, or at such time on that day as may be determined by local authority. And 2, call upon civic and other community leaders to take appropriate steps to encourage public participation in such observance. Now Rotarian Shep Jones will lead us in a selection of America's favorite songs.
Please join me as you see fit. When the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair, as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. America the beautiful, oh beautiful for spacious skies. Oh beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for pilgrim feet who spurred in passion's crest, a thoroughfare for freedom beat across the wilderness. America, America, God mend thine every flaw, confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in law. Oh, beautiful for patriot dreams that sees beyond the years, thine alabaster city meet, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with from sea to shining sea. The next we'll do is to a British tune. Better known as America. My country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring. My native country, land of the noble free, thy name I love. I love thy rocks and rills, thy woods and temple hills. My heart with rapture fills, like that above. Let music fill the breeze and ring from all the trees, sweet freedom song. Let mortal tongues awake, let all that breathe partake, let rocks their silence break, but never leave. Our Father's God to thee, author of liberty, to thee we sing. Long may our land be bright with freedom's holy light. Protect us by thy might, great God our King.
Thank you, Chip. Bells were once the fastest means of communicating to any town. Of course, today we have radio, television, and electronic cell phones. We are fortunate here in Bennington to have churches and others that still have some bells that are in working order. We have with us today representatives of congregations and organizations which have functioning church bells in their bell towers or on their sites. These members are connected via cell phone to persons standing by their respective bells. As we ring this bell, these representatives will signal the person standing by their bell. We will then have bells ringing in unison throughout the town. And let me present the caller for the Old First Church is Pat Guerrero. The caller for Sacred Heart St. Francis, Mary Lou Albert, and the ringer is Renee Casano. The caller for St. Peter's Episcopal Church is Ellen Albert, and the caller is, the ringer is Nancy Sanford. Our Rotarians will now ring the bell 13 times. After the last bell, ringing for the state of Delaware, Rotarian Mary Rogers. Ringing for the state of Pennsylvania is Rotarian James Winenberg. Ringing for the state of New Jersey is Rotarian Judy Hill. Ringing for the As I'm sure many of you know, Vermont is the 14th state in the Union. The state of Vermont was born right here in Bennington, so it is only fitting that we ring our bells one more time for Vermont. But did you know that Vermont has its very own anthem? Shep Jones will now sing for us the Vermont song.
These green hills and silver waters are my home. They belong to me and to all her sons and daughters. May they be strong and forever free. Let us live to protect her beauty and look with pride on the golden dome. They say home is where the heart is. These green mountains are my home. These green mountains are my home.
Thank you, Shep. To ring the bell for the 14th time in For Vermont, our club always picks a special group of individuals that is outstanding in our community. This year we have the honor to ask a unit from the Vermont Army National Guard. The mission of the I-172 Mountain Cavalry is to be prepared to deploy worldwide in order to conduct unified land operations in support of global contingency operations and combatant commanders' operational requirement in order to bring stability to the operation environment. 172 Mountain Cavalry is prepared to provide a trained and ready force capable of responding in support of civil, federal, and domestic response as directed by the Adjutant General of Vermont and or the Governor of Vermont. The Mountain Cavalry has been given orders that it will be deployed next year to serve overseas in Iraq. Joining us here today and representing the I-172 Mountain Cavalry of the Vermont Army National Guard is Staff Sergeant Louis Beverage. Challenge coin is a small coin or medallion bearing an organization's insignia or emblem and carried by the organization's members. Traditionally, they are given to prove membership when challenged and to enhance morale. In addition, they are collected by service members. In practice, challenge coins are normally presented by unit commanders in recognition of special achievement by members of the unit. They also are exchanged in recognition of visits to an organization. In recognition of your visit here with us, Club President Jerry Albert would like to present to you our Rotary Challenge coin. Would you please come to the station, to the podium, Sergeant? Any member of our audience today who would like the opportunity of ringing the USS Bennington's bell at this time, please form a line. And I'd like to thank you all for being with us today. We'll see you next year. Thanks again.